Hello everyone, and welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. After a spicy interlude that goes awry, Claire and Holden are busted. According to previews on The Young and the Restless, Claire Newman and Holden Novak might upgrade their relationship by dressing alike in jail stripes. Let's go in and take a peek at their crazy night, which has the potential to go completely out of control. Repercussions. Claire was forewarned about Holden by Kyle Abbott, her jealous lover. He believes that the man is untrustworthy, but he is correct. Kane Ashby's employee Holden was instructed to become close to Claire. After a heated confrontation, Claire isn't listening to Kyle, but she might soon come to regret it. Holden ignored Kyle's warning to back off. As they continue to spend time together, Holden grows to love Claire. Are in the weeds? Not only is Kyle suspicious of Holden, but so is her mother, Victoria Newman. In fact, Victoria worries more and more about their connection since she is so certain about Holden. Tell us, YNR fans, do you believe that Mother knows best in this situation? Hot YNR spoilers suggest that Holden will soon add some excitement and spice to Claire's life, so she might. The only risk is that Claire and Holden might be discovered. Victoria is worried about Claire and Holden. We are aware of Holden's secret regarding illicit actions that he was involved in while in Los Angeles with Audra Charles. Holden demonstrates his continued shoddiness by cooperating with Kane. Will Claire's hidden demons surface as she becomes closer to Holden? We do know that Holden soon asks Claire to accompany him on what may turn out to be a perilous journey. Kyle and Victoria will be enraged and undoubtedly remark, "I told you so," if Claire and Holden do end up in any kind of difficulty. What about St. Clair's reputation? If she gets jailed, Kyle and Victoria would flip their wigs. What is that? Yes, she has a reputation as a potential family assassin. Juicy spoilers for The Young and the Restless hint that Holden might drag Claire into some danger with him for which she isn't ready. Make sure to keep up with all of the current events on The Young and the Restless. For the most recent YNR news, spoilers, and updates, return frequently. Sit back and enjoy the greatest soap opera information available online. Holden and Claire are busted after a spicy interlude turned sideways. A close look. According to the most recent spoilers involving Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, and Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, The Young and the Restless, YNR, thrives on its ability to combine romance, treachery, and suspense into a blend that keeps viewers riveted to their televisions. For weeks, their plot has been simmering, with hints of danger and temptation igniting in every corner. The audience is being prepared for the kind of consequences that YNR has been known for producing for decades, as the likelihood of their being apprehended following a wild, reckless interlude increases. We must examine Claire's emotional turmoil, Holden's dubious relationships, Kyle Abbott's jealousy, and Victoria Newman's maternal impulses in order to comprehend where this might be going. These elements combine to create a combustible concoction that has the potential to blow up Genoa City. Claire's complex heart and her past repercussions. Not just any new character on the YNR canvas, Claire Newman has one of the most sinister backstories the program has ever given a young girl. After being tricked by Jordan into hatching a scheme against her own influential family, Claire has been working to start over, repair her reputation, and demonstrate that she is more than the sum of her errors. However, in Genoa City, redemption is not simple. Suspicion persists, trust is brittle, and one mistake might push her back into the shadows of criticism. Claire was clearly attracted to Holden Novak when they first met. Holden was a symbol of excitement, danger, and relief from the continual scrutiny she endured at the hands of her mother Victoria and Kyle. Her stable, but occasionally controlling partner, Kyle, provided stability, protection, and loyalty, but he also carried a streak of jealousy that made Claire feel trapped rather than loved. Holden entered her life during this emotional upheaval, luring her to play with fire like a flame. Naturally, the irony lies in the fact that Holden is every bit the manipulator Kyle claimed he was. He works for Kane Ashby Billy Flynn, who has his own reasons for manipulating events in Genoa City, so he's more than simply a lovely stranger. Holden was supposed to approach Claire, take advantage of her weakness, and possibly even use her Newman name as leverage. The problem is that, in spite of his better judgment, Holden starts to fall deeply in love with Claire. Many failed YNR romances share this combination of manipulation and genuine emotion, which is what makes this story so captivating to viewers. Kyle Abbott's desperation and jealousy. When he feels threatened, Kyle Abbott has never been one to keep his feelings to himself. Though they may have their roots in love, his protective tendencies toward Claire nevertheless primarily rely on envy and fear. Claire was frequently cautioned by Kyle that Holden was unreliable. He even went straight up to Holden and told him to back off, but Holden's insistence just made Kyle's suspicions grow. More than merely a disagreement, Kyle and Claire's heated confrontations highlight the weaknesses in their relationship. Claire feels misunderstood because of Kyle's mistrust, and Kyle questions her allegiance because of Claire's defensiveness. Holden skillfully takes advantage of this vicious loop by posing as the understanding ear Kyle doesn't seem to provide Claire. The past of Kyle's family also makes him more envious. He has direct experience with the deceptive tactics used by outsiders who stalk the Abbott and Newman families in an attempt to find weaknesses. Even while he may be motivated by love to keep Claire safe, his incapacity to trust her instincts could push her straight into Holden's arms. The maternal instincts and warning signs of Victoria Newman. After Jordan's upheaval and Claire's treachery, Victoria Newman has worked hard to put her family back together. Victoria's protective instincts are more acute than ever now that her daughter is free and attempting to start again. Claire seems instantly alarmed at the thought of Holden sniffing around her. Holden is exposed by Victoria as a man with dubious loyalties and secrets. She has seen his type before and is aware of their potential for danger. However, Victoria's cautions, like Kyle's, run the risk of driving Claire farther away. Claire longs to be treated like an adult, to be trusted to make her own decisions, and to demonstrate that she is capable of supporting herself without continual supervision. Claire feels trapped when her mother and her boyfriend share their skepticism. Holden's freedom, defiance, and thrill-seeking lifestyle appeal precisely because of this feeling of suffocation. Although the mother knows best viewpoint is a well-worn soap opera cliché, Victoria might be quite correct in this instance. She has witnessed enough scandals involving the Newman family to know that a catastrophe is imminent, and Holden's past, with its connections to Audra Charles and dubious activities in Los Angeles, only serves to validate her suspicions. Holden's shadowy relationships and secret world. Holden Novak is a guy torn between desire and loyalty. On the one hand, he is loyal to a world of deceit and cunning, and is bound to Kane Ashby. On the other hand, in spite of his original intentions, he starts to sincerely care about Claire. He is both intriguing and dangerous because of this duality. His background of illicit operations and plans is exposed by his ties to Audra Charles in Los Angeles. It implies that he has been involved in circles where the distinction between criminal activity and business is hazy, and it will not be long before those skeletons shiver their way into Genoa City. Holden demonstrates that, despite his genuine affections for Claire, he hasn't completely moved on from his dark history by siding with Kane. The risk is obvious. Claire, who is already at risk due to her past and is eager to establish her own identity, may easily become entangled in Holden's sinister world. She might be unable to resist the temptation when he asks her to go on one of his riskier adventures. After all, she thinks that her highly analyzed life has been depriving her of adventure. The hot interlude that sidesteps. According to the spoilers, Claire and Holden are going to have a crazy night that might easily turn into a scandal. The pause marks a point of no return, regardless of whether it's a sexual encounter, a risky excursion connected to Holden's dubious activities, or both. Claire sees it as an opportunity to defy Victoria's and Kyle's oppressive protectiveness. It's the pinnacle of Holden's developing love for Claire, but it's also the point at which his deceit could be discovered. However, as is typical of YNR, crazy nights are rarely kept under wraps. The truth is always revealed at the most inconvenient time. Someone always follows, and someone always overhears. If Holden's schemes are illegal, the authorities may literally bust Claire and Holden's tryst. Otherwise, Victoria and Kyle may metaphorically bust them if they discover something they were afraid of. The repercussions is expected to be explosive in either case. Repercussions for Claire's image. Claire has put a lot of effort into shedding her reputation as the would-be family assassin. Every advancement she makes is difficult to achieve, and every error she makes could reverse her gains. Her reputation might suffer greatly if she is discovered with Holden, whether in bed committing a crime or engaging in some scandalous combination of the two. Naturally, Kyle and Victoria would be the first to declare, "I told you so," but the rest of the Newman family would not be far behind. Although his tolerance is limited, Claire's grandfather, Victor Newman, has been cautiously supportive of her atonement. A Holden-related controversy would put Claire back in Victor's sights, endangering not just her relationships with her family, but also her standing in Genoa city society. Rejecting someone like Claire, who so much wants to fit in, could throw her into a downward spiral. The longer view, Kane Ashby's prospects. It is impossible to overstate Kane Ashby's significance in this plot. Kane is playing a long game by putting Holden in Claire's orbit, probably with the intention of weakening them and taking advantage of their weaknesses. Kane gets advantage if Holden is able to get Claire into trouble. Kane can still take advantage of the repercussions by blaming others and causing mayhem if Holden fails. This connects Claire's personal hardships to the larger family and business conflicts that YNR feeds off. Her decisions impact not only her romantic life, but also the power relationships among families, businesses, and rivals in Genoa City. Concluding remarks. A powder keg prepared for lighting. The Claire-Holden interaction is a prime illustration of how The Young and the Restless has consistently done a fantastic job of incorporating personal drama into larger story arcs. Although it appears to be a story about a young woman who is seduced by passion and danger, it is really about trust, atonement, and the results of decisions. Claire runs the risk of making the same mistakes she has in the past because she chose to interact with Holden in spite of Kyle and Victoria's warnings. Holden is headed for exposure because of his incapacity to keep his emotions apart from his dubious commitments. While Victoria's maternal instincts might turn out to be tragically true, Kyle's jealousy threatens to drive Claire away. This plot is essentially a keg of powder that is just waiting for something to ignite, and the impact will reach every part of Genoa City, whether it takes the shape of a surprise arrest, a scandalous bust, or a terrible betrayal.